Kia ora. In the headlines, Zimbabwean Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai has flown out today after a whirlwind visit, his first in New Zealand. Described as an impressive yet humble man, Mr Tsvangirai told Andrew Urquhart that, like his relationship with President Robert Mugabe, Zimbabwe is ready to put the past to rest and re-engage in global affairs.
Two political leaders who are motivated by seeing what is in the national interest and try to formulate policies that advances the country rather than undermining it. The country which is able to look to the future, to build an economy which is based on wealth creation, jobs and food security. A country which joins the family of nations as a respectable member and not as a para-state and isolation we've experienced over the last 10, 15 years.
Meanwhile, the Labour Party says it's time to consider suspending sanctions against Zimbabwe. Phil Goff introduced sanctions back when he was Foreign Minister, but told New Zealand's Rhema we need now to encourage Zimbabwe's democratic reforms.
There were sporting sanctions. They were largely symbolic to say what is happening in Zimbabwe is not something that we as a country, as a people, are prepared to turn a blind eye to. After the discussion with Morgan Tsvangirai, I'm persuaded that once the new constitution is in place, we and the international community should suspend those sanctions as a sign of good faith.
The Reserve Bank is leaving the official cash rate unchanged at 2.5%. Governor Alan Bollard says New Zealand's economic outlook has changed little since its monetary policy update last month. The prognosis for our trading partners remains poor due to the recession in Europe, but he expects the local economy will grow modestly. A private members' bill on marriage equality has been pulled out of the parliamentary ballot this morning. It means MPs will soon have a conscience vote on gay marriage. Labour leader David Shearer declared he'll be voting yes, and Mana's Honi Harawira says he'll also support the bill to first reading, despite expressing reservations about gay marriage in the past. Grant Illingworth, QC, explained how this bill differs from the Civil Union Act.
The statute that is being promoted now attempts to create no real distinction between civil union and marriage. It specifically refers to anti-discrimination laws and relies upon them as justifying the new approach. One can see that that could conceivably be used in the future as a means of putting pressure on a church, because otherwise they'd be accused of being discriminatory.
Treaty Negotiations Minister Chris Finlayson has chastised the media for their thin coverage of Treaty of Waitangi settlement legislation. His comments came as Parliament sat under extended hours today to pass several bills enabling historical settlement claims, and he noted the absence of reporters.
I can't see them from here, but I would be surprised if anyone from the press gallery was here today. I think it's a great disappointment. Oh no, it was Brendan Horan, I think, who said it's a great disappointment.
E tu ana te whakataita kapahaka o te motu mā ngā kura tuarua ki Tsvangirai. Hea popo ka mātou tātou ko wāinga toa. Ki mai ana te kai whakahaere a Johnny Waititi kia mātou, kua eke te taumata a ngā mahi e tēnei ki tau.
Kua piti marika, ko tēnā te kaupapa I ki tau ngā hakapaitai o mua, kei te piki te maiatango o ngā rangatahi I ki te tino mano o tātou rangatahi tauhi.
Ka pai. A new organisation has been launched to champion Labour's goal of longer paid parental leave. Called 26 for Babies, it aims to support the bill which seeks to extend paid parental leave from 14 to 26 weeks and passed its first reading in Parliament last night. Overseas now, the US has declared the defections of two senior Syrian diplomats as further evidence President Bashar al-Assad's days are numbered. The news comes amidst reports of escalating violence in Syria. With the UN Security Council's failure to act on Syria due to vetoes from Russia and China, Arab nations say they'll ask the UN General Assembly for a new resolution. No member of the 193-member General Assembly has a veto. Finally, it's an unlikely weapon. The music of AC/DC has been used in a cyber attack on Iran's nuclear program. A scientist working at the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran says the track Thunderstruck was played randomly on several of the workstations in the middle of the night. The US and Israel are being blamed by Iran for the cyber attacks. Those are the headlines from the RBG News team. Māori ora.